मोहनान स्पष्ट जावन सांगला दाळीचा खाऊ का कोंकणी उलो का म्हणून दाळीचो खाता कोंकणी उलोवचे प्रयत्न कर चलप सो सगळे उपस्थित सकट मालगड्यांक प्रितीन नमस्कार करता. तशी कोंकणी समाज बांधवांक पुराय अभिनंदन करता. माध्यमದ ಮಿತ್ರರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. My heart and mind is so full of ideas, emotions after hearing Mohan. I mean, it's very difficult to follow, to speak after Mohan. As I was sitting over there, I was talking to him, and he was saying, 3 कोटी स्कॉलरशिप पाना मुरा सर चढ़ कर रहा है, 10x कसला है, 20x कर रहा है. You know, just always pushing everybody more and more. I think it's very important that we all have somebody in our life like this who always pushes us beyond our boundaries. Otherwise, we get very comfortable. Now, I'm sure the WKC committee members will vouch for this. He will not let you rest. You know, if you do something more. 3 कोटी का वैसा कोट कर रहा है. You know, so it's always pushing you beyond your boundaries, and it's amazing sometimes when this happens, how we discover things that we ourselves did not believe that we were capable of. So Mohan may not know, but for me, he's been a guide, a mentor. Always very honored and privileged to be really sharing this dais with Mohan. I think he's a role model for me, of course, but I'm sure not just for me, it's for all of you, for our community members, and even beyond. And of course, he's a pride of our community, so really thrilled to be speaking on the same dais as Mohan. WKC has organized this scholarship program, awarding scholarships for over 500 students, I believe 493 BE students, about 43 MBBS students, obviously very bright, young, energetic people. So I'm quite excited to see so many Konkani students who are bright and smart and intelligent like all of you gathered under one roof. But I can't sort of not think really how fortunate each of you are. I think Mohan also did mention or touch upon it when he spoke. But really, I mean, as I look at all of you, I can't just really not think how fortunate all of you are, even me included actually. I mean, all of us, I think, come from a very illustrious lineage. I mean, the Konkani Samaj, as we call it. People who are founders of banks, eminent lawyers, business. I mean, Kanche Kshetra kadya tumi. I mean, now Pavila Sajjan. I mean, even army. You know, I mean, I was in one of the functions and I was amazed to see the contribution of our society, even in the armed forces in the country. So, as a community, I think we don't need to draw inspiration outside. There are enough and more people within our community who we can draw inspiration from. I mean, I was seeing the list of all the photos, I mean, young and old, but very, very, very inspiring people. And we heard a little bit of Mohan's inspiring story. And I'm sure all of them have inspiring stories to share. And as you go through your scholarship program, I'm sure you'll get an opportunity to interact with many of such people and hear such inspiring stories. So really, I think, I mean, being a part of this wonderful Konkani Samaj, which all binds us together, is really a fortunate sort of occurrence for all of us. As I was coming from the airport, my dad was telling me, yeah, Konkani mala like vishesh bhasha hai. Kasa hai kamala? He said, it's a very secular language. So I said, what do you mean? He says, आमगेल भाषा खाली एक हिंदू धर्म जो GSB धर्म मात्र सीमित झालेलं नाही. We have people from I mean I don't know various communities. He started naming some names, कुर्मी अशी तशी पण नाव सांगता आशिल्लो म्हाका मना वच्चें न्ही. But it's across all caste, creed, religion. You know, so he was saying it's a very, very secular language म्हणून. So I was quite amazed, and I think the one common thread that goes between all of us as Konkani speaking people, I think, is all of us are very, very enterprising. I think that is one common thread that goes across. I mean, irrespective of which caste, creed, religion we come from, we all are very enterprising people. All of us, I think, we value values. I mean, things like integrity, honesty, hard work, discipline. I think these are embedded in us, you know. And really, I don't think we need to really try that much harder, because I think it's in our DNA to be intelligent. It's in our DNA to value education. You know, so I think that is something that we all should really consider to be very, very fortunate. The second part is, I mean, I see so many parents over here. I think all of us have reached a particular stage. All of you guys have reached a particular stage. You all are here today. But don't forget who all have really contributed to this journey. It is not that by your own, I mean, I'm not trying to take away anybody's hard work over here, but let me tell you, I mean, let us not forget the people who have been part of this journey. Foremost of them have been maybe our teachers who have selflessly sort of given whatever knowledge they have. I mean, I run a few educational institutions, and I can tell you the difference between a teacher and another employee of any other organization. I mean, these people are not working for salary. They are not working for overtime. I mean, there's just a true passion that drives them. They answer questions during a board exam. I see them answering questions or replying on WhatsApp at 10:30 in the night. So when I asked them, I said, why are you doing this? And they said that I can't sleep if I don't answer this. I'm saying that is the passion that teachers have. So they selflessly impart this sort of knowledge to all of us. And foremost, of course, our family, our parents, our support system. Amongst all of that, of course, our mother. I mean, I see my own wife today. I have two young boys, 12 and 9-year-old. Tak pariksh malar to, I think 7th standard. Tak pariksh malar to 6 ganta utaila thi, 5 ganta utaita. Mar tak ankul jawo, tondra sunajja, tall aikun shikuwa monu. I think all of us can pick up stories like this. I'm sure each of us have a story to narrate. Mohan talked about his mother. I'm reminded of so many times my mother has made so many sacrifices, and I'm sure each of you, can think of an occasion when our parents have sacrificed their dreams to make sure that our dreams are really fulfilled. So I think we should always take a moment to really thank people who have been part of this journey to bring us to a stage where we are today. And thirdly, really, I think, again, I think you guys, as you enter your professional I would say the start of a professional career, I think you guys are in the best place at the best time. Best place, of course, I mean, India. We can't stop telling you enough about how lucky you all are to be part of a country. I mean, our elders have really struggled. But today, I mean, the country is poised. It's such a good spot. I mean, as a leader, world leader, as I got down from the flight, I was seeing these big boards about this G20 presidency that our country is taken up. G20 is an organization of 19 countries in the European Union. I mean, people who decide world geopolitics, people who decide the world policies for the world. And today, I mean, this year, it's under our presidency that this G20 is happening. And every field, I mean, be it geopolitics, be it science, be it research, be it sports. I mean, recently, even Olympics, I mean, we had the best ever overall of medals. So every particular field, I think our country is really coming forward. Even when the whole COVID pandemic happened, we had vaccines, 2 indigenous vaccines developed indigenously. We never had that sort of a situation. In fact, when other countries raised the gates saying, no, Amgel, first we should finish vaccines for our people, our country went forward and even contributed to some of the poorer nations, so to say, saying that you take the vaccines there. Of course, the government may have been criticized for various reasons, but I think it's a very, very benevolent and sort of indicative of our culture or dharma. That we are, for us, the world is a family. So I think it was a wonderful sort of a gesture. So I think even if you take economy, now we are amongst the top 5 largest economies in the world, amongst the fastest growing large economies. And I think we are maybe the shining star amongst like a sort of maybe a gloomy sort of a picture in the rest of the world. So I think you all are very, very lucky to be stepping into this sort of a country today. We have 100 unicorns. I mean, at last count, I'm sure Mohan can rattle off a lot more numbers than me. But there are 100 unicorns today. And mind you, each one of these unicorns, and a unicorn, I mean, I'm sure you all know, is a company which has a valuation of about $1 billion. I think today's terms, it would be about 8,000 crores. And all these unicorns have been started by young and energetic people like you. Maybe, your age, not very different. And it need not be that they've all come from IITs or IIMs. I mean, these are people who, by sheer dint of hard work, by sheer perseverance, they've really formed this, these sort of big enterprises. So I think it's very, very inspiring and a lovely time for all of you to be actually starting a professional world, a professional journey in this sort of a situation. And also I think today there's a lot of flexibility even in the education system. When we grew up, and when, I'm not that old really, but even 20, 25 years back when I did I was doing my education, Bodaswa engineering kari. Annal business join BCom kari. Kasne useless, arts kari. This was the general trend. I think we all just grew with these 3 options, either science, commerce, arts. But today, the world is very, very different. Even the government is supporting with this whole NEP, the new education policy, where they're focusing on interdisciplinarity. In fact, I was chatting with one of my batchmates from campus, in IIM. He's today a large hedge fund manager in New York. He was telling me, and I mean, he's come from a financial background, dealing in financial instruments, options, derivatives, and these sort of things. And he was telling me that when I recruit today, I'm not looking for anybody from a financial background. I'm looking more for computer scientists, because today the world is run on algorithms. So this is the sort of world that is sort of really around you. And fortunately, I mean, I'm really fortunate also to be a part of this gathering and to really learn from some of your alumni. I think for me also it has been a learning really, and very, very happy to sort of really see, the lovely host, Samyukta, Venki, all of them speak. I mean, I can imagine what a wonderful job you guys are doing at your, at WKC. I can tell you any number of gatherings you address, anytime you get on stage, the stage fear is real. So, I mean, only when you guys get on here, you will also appreciate that. And really, I mean, the gracious host and the wonderful alumni really setting an example of what you can really expect over here. So, I just want to conclude with maybe a couple of my own learnings, if in case helps all of you. The first particular learning that I wanted to sort of really share with all of you is that when I did my engineering, I was more focused on marks, grades. Madari distinction evka, 90 gevka. In English, we call it more mugging or rote learning, So I think that was what was focused. And when I first went into IIM, our first statistics quiz, I was sitting in the room and studying very, mugging up the mean formulas. One of the guys walks in and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "No, statistics quiz day after. I need to know these formulas." He said, "Don't worry, it's an open exam, open book examination." So the questions were framed in such a way that all you had to do was to think, which formula do I need to apply? The formula is already there. I don't need to mug up the formula, but that was the background that I came from. So I urge you all to not really focus on the grades. It's important, but at the same time, just focus on learning. And, really, the objectives should be for you to grow in your own careers. How do I apply what I learn for real world problems? How do I solve, societal ills? How do I solve and how do I contribute to the betterment of the society? How do I contribute to the betterment of the nation? I think this is very, very critical. The skills that I sort of acquire, how do I sort of apply it to in a practical sense? I mean, I don't need to talk about the soft skills. I think I cannot. At the cost of reiterating, I'll tell you, I think these are very, very, very essential. I think our higher education does a great job of teaching us technical skills, but what we lack in is life skills or, communication skills, leadership skills. I mean, these really, I think the Shamata program, you guys, I'm sure, like I said, you're doing a great job. But go outside the classroom. I mean, take up extracurricular activities, maybe debate, social service, sports. These teach you, real life skills, in terms of leadership, communication, presentation. And mind you, these today, corporates value this a lot more than sometimes even your technical skills. The second point that I really want to make is, Mohan already talked about this, just dream big. You have nothing to lose dreaming big. The more you dream, and I'll tell you, it's not difficult. It's a little bit like an addiction. If you dream big, you achieve it, you say, "Oh, I can do it," and then you start setting another goal, and then it becomes into a vicious cycle where you keep setting yourself bigger and better goals, and you keep achieving it, and in the process you keep growing. So really dream big. One observation that I wanted to sort of share, and I was happy that even Venki sort of brought it up in his 10-point agenda, is that I think while our community sort of really throws out great professionals, excellent bankers, engineers, academicians, I think where we are really lacking is in the entrepreneurial space. I think people are a little shy of really getting into the entrepreneurial sort of space. I would really urge all of you to consider this as a real option post your studies, or in fact maybe while you're studying. US and all, there are many instances where people start startups as they are studying also. So please keep this at the back of your mind. I think don't just become an employment seeker, go into an Infosys, getting a job, but become an employment giver. Become the next Infosys. Can you employ 3 lakh people? I think then you'll really become an asset to the nation or asset to the community. And lastly, one thing that I really want to share with all of you is that, I don't know what success means to all of you. Success is a very, very fluid word. There are many definitions. For some, success may mean money. For some, it may mean academic qualifications. For some, it may just mean work-life balance. Success can mean anything. But let me tell you something. Nobody here can guarantee you success. Not Vishwa, not World Konkani Center, not Mohandas Pai, not Kamatma. Nobody can guarantee you success. That is, that is something that I can tell you. What I can guarantee you is that each of you are going to face failure in your life. I don't think there's anybody in this room who can lift their hand and say, I have not failed in my life. So I will assure you that all of you are going to face failure sometime in your life. How you face that failure is what is going to determine what sort of a human being you become. So success is not final. Failure is not fatal, as they say. So please, I mean, keep up the perseverance. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'm sure all your dreams will come true. I want to thank Vishwa Konkani Center for really inviting me here and share some of my thoughts with all of you. I was there about 6 months back when they unveiled, my dad's portrait in the Hall of Fame. That was the first time I went to the WKC, and I'll tell you, I mean, it was such a inspiring experience. I don't know, I'm sure all of you have been there, or maybe most of you are going to be there. But when you're there, please, I mean, take a look at the Hall of Fame. People who have been part of constitution making, people who are eminent lawyers, people who are founders of banks, I mean, businessmen. It is, it was that sort of an experience, that place. So they're doing wonderful work. I want to take a moment to also sort of remember Basti Vaman Mam. Every time I came to Mangalore and I was addressing a gathering, I would see him in the audience. I thought it's part of the community, he was there. And once I was at some function which had nothing to do with our community, it was some building opening, and I saw him. So I went, I said, come, Vaman Mam, hankasa karta mun. Nara, tu na padel invitation ari, takatuk medu vailo. So I can't forget the sort of love and affection that he had. He would just see my name, that it's on the invitation, and there in Mangalore today, and he would come just to meet me, taking all the trouble. So I can't forget, the sort of love and affection that he shared with me. And I'm so glad that the current committee is sort of really taking forward that legacy. They're doing some amazing work. But I think the most noble of this is giving scholarship, because I think it's really an investment into our community. I think it's investing in our own future. So it's the most noble work that they're doing. Mohan, of course, has set a very ambitious goal. No child to be deprived of higher education because of any need. And I'm sure the entire community, all of us are there to sort of really support and make this come true. So I really pray to God that all of you are successful in your own ways, become successful doctors, become successful engineers, and don't limit yourself to just becoming a doctor or engineer. Be the best doctor, be the best engineer, or the best entrepreneur. So I really wish you all the best. And I pray to all of you also that once you are successful, once you have got a necessary need, desire, ghar bandla, car medla, bail chedun jalinchi, give back to the community, because I think this cycle needs to keep going. So I think that is very, very, very critical. So with that, I just want to thank all of you for really having me in this wonderful sort of event and giving me this occasion to sort of interact with all of you. Wish you all the very best. Thank you.